Hello and welcome, inspired podcast community. This is your new episode. My name is Caroline, and my today's interview guest is Eveline. Wow. And I would like you to present yourself to the audience, please.
Okay. Well, good morning, Caroline. Thank you for inviting me for this podcast. So, my name is Eveline, as you already said, and I live in the Netherlands, and I live in a little village near the sea. I have a background as a trained lifestyle awareness coach therapist, and I have already guided, trained numerous people on their emotional, mental, spiritual, physical journey into a more satisfied, fulfilled life. I have already written a book where I guide people in 7 steps into becoming more who they are, living a more authentic life, living a more joyful life, living a more prosperous life. Also created a card deck the same way. I like to bring people out of their head, bringing them into their hearts. So that's a little bit about me.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing. And you said awareness lifestyle. I love that expression. And
Mm.
also, I think intuition and inspiration is the part of that. And so, my first question is, what inspires you?
What inspires me? Well, already from a little age, I like to travel. I really like to travel. And I really like to travel to be really in the moment, to be really present in traveling, meeting new people, meeting new situations, because every day is different. Every moment of the day is different. So if you relate it back to the word awareness you were mentioning, it's a beautiful way to become more aware of the things you don't know and be open to. And that's what traveling does, because traveling is always different, You cannot go back to the old
Yeah.
to the old state. If you do it with awareness, of course.
Wow, you are inspired by traveling. I am too. And what I realized is when you are traveling, you are not in your old habits. You have to form new habits in a new environment.
Yeah,
This is
absolutely.
amazing. Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You
we
know,
both, yeah,
hmm?
yeah. You want to add
you,
something?
that's if you're talking about comfort zone, traveling in a way is also a beautiful way to get you out of the comfort zone. You can choose to stay in it. It doesn't work because the circumstances are already inviting you to go to a deeper or a different or higher level of consciousness
Yes.
if you are open to it.
Yes, you can stay where you are for the rest of your life, or you can open yourself up and then explore new countries and new people, cultures, and food, for example. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. So we met at the Procter Gallagher Institute. I remember this, and we shared our 6 a.m. club experience. so,
Yeah.
so we have one common mentor. One mentor is Bob Proctor. And my question is, who inspires you?
Well, you already said the name. The first time I heard about Bob Proctor, and he said, you know, you know, oh my God, now I have to remember it.
What
but
did he
anyway,
say?
if, but anyway, he opened in me a space of a grandparent that said to me, if you believe it, I will find a way for you to conceive it, to receive it, you know? And so that opened up a door in me, and I do still remember that moment.
Oh,
That was what he created in me. Like, oh, and he does, I am sure he does that with so many people. He
mhm.
he had, of course it is had, he had something inside of him that made other people believe that they could do it. Just
Yeah.
that. you know, just that, which
Absolutely.
is really important.
So you met him in person?
No, 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 that's so. I was a little bit too late for that,
Mm.
but he is in my heart.
Yes, he's still here and inspiring us to do this
Yeah,
episode together because we connected because of him, his teachings and his programs, and this is really amazing. Okay, who else is inspiring you in your life?
who else? This is yeah. Of course, you have the names like Oprah, and I get inspired of people who are still open in their heart. You know, they are wise. They are. I know you want to hear names, but there are so many names, so I would forget most important names. I'm sure about that, but they still have to have an open mind. They still have to. They still have to have an open heart. They still uh, have the willingness to learn themselves. They want to learn and teach other people, but they also that's what I liked about the Thinking into Result program. If
Mhm.
you are open to it, you can learn so much of it, and you can keep on learning. So the way the program is, so the way is, I get inspired of the people who are that way of thinking into result, whatever that means to you, because we all want other results, so that are the people that inspire me. But I could walk around and I see a little girl and she does something and that can inspire me too, because she can do something that opens my heart, and then that's the way to get inspired, you know that's the
Yes.
way to get inspired, to connect with spirit, so that's a beautiful way.
Oh, this is really inspiring. And what you said about what was it? Just a second. I have to catch. There were so many thoughts in it. To get inspired. Yes, in spirit, to be in spirit and like-minded as well. Wow. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And people who go their own way, you must have a kind of rebellion inside of you,
Mm,
and that
mm,
doesn't mean that you do it always right, because I see it in my life. I have made enough mistakes myself, but I always get back on track, because I follow my part, and so I like to be attracted by people who follow their part too.
You said this about different results. We want different results. I think the what we have in common is to I have to laugh about when you think about the feeling of the wish fulfilled, I think that this feeling is what unites us. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the same for everyone. It's the feeling of accomplishment and success as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what results. It's because we are all different,
Mhm.
and we all have to find our own part, and we all have to follow our own part, and we all have to get out of our own different comfort zone, because we all have different comfort zones, and we all are on different levels in time. So maybe you have to come out of your comfort zone today, around, I don't know, and I tomorrow, it's always different, but it's about getting out of your comfort zone. It's about getting out of your zone of thinking that's not working anymore for you.
Yes.
That's what
Mhm.
that's is also what connects us, that if we can sit together, and even though we know it's not easy, but we know the structure, we know the structure, and that means, like, we all have that zone where we have to get out if we want to have a better life. we
Yes.
don't if we don't do that, yeah, something will die,
Mhm.
that's the beauty of getting older, is that you get a lot of opportunities. The not so beautiful thing of getting older, that if you're not changed, you really get older, because then getting older is in a way like dying,
Mhm.
every second. You're still living, but
Yeah.
something inside of you is dying.
But it's the choice too, when whether you accept the change, that life is about changing, improving, expanding, or you stay the way you are, then you are not changing. It's a choice. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, my
With
next question is, oh, you want to add something?
Yeah, I wanted to add with
Oh,
different results, with different results.
wow. Different results. This is what we came for here, to change our results if we are not satisfied with the results we have now. Yes.
Exactly.
And if you are listening to this podcast episode, I think you are not satisfied with your results. Otherwise, this episode was not made for you. So please reach out to Eveline, yes, after this episode and connect to her. She has a solution for you. Okay, my next question is, but we will talk about that later. How do you inspire other people?
You know, what I notice every time is just getting back to yourself, just being attentive to yourself, just being real, just being you. And that doesn't always mean being beautiful, being nice, being kind, because sometimes, because we all have those parts in ourselves. And sometimes you have to show that painful side in your side of you so people can connect to their own.
Yes.
I don't know why I'm saying this, but this just comes up that we always let people show a nice, beautiful picture, but that's not all true because we have so many different parts. So I noticed this just by being me, just by being me, you know,
Mhm.
and I create a lot of beautiful stuff. I like to add beauty to the world. So, and I believe that we can be nice to each other. Even if I don't like you, I like you. But even if I would not like you, that doesn't mean that I can't still be polite, still be
Yeah.
kind, still think about something nice, because that's where we have a choice too. We can choose whatever we think about somebody else to just be kind, to just be nice, to just be open. And if we would be open, some other information would come in. And then we would see something next to what we don't like about the person. And then things would change.
Yes. We can transform it.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that. What you said, by being yourself, by being vulnerable as well, and showing people and giving them the allowance to be that as well, to open up their hearts.
Yeah.
Wow. This is amazing. Okay, my next question is, what are your gifts and talents?
What are my gifts and talents? Yeah, I already said it a little bit, just being me, just being. I think in the process is about really being true to myself, not being true to you, but just being true to myself and whatever. And and I can be really in the moment. I can be really there where you need that support. I am, yeah, I have a lot of experience by getting people out of their head, bringing them in their heart, bringing them in the present moment. you
Mhm.
know I'm also good in showing you the mirror, like, so I can be a little bit yeah, confronting, but I like to be confronting.
Mhm.
So I like to set boundaries, because most of us, we are so lost in that area. Like, we really have to learn what are our real boundaries, because
Mhm.
many
Mhm.
of us don't know that. We think we know it, but we often have to learn to set healthy boundaries so we can connect with each other.
Yes. And they can also come from our childhood, from the conditioning. When we think what it is and it is not, then we have to question it, and then we can change it as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
What came up? I always have been a really think. And at a
Mhm.
certain moment, I told myself, it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what I feel. Doesn't have to be true. So,
Yes.
and when I started to say that to myself, something started to click, started to change, and I started to be more open and not believing everything I think. I think that's the magic.
Oh, yes.
Not believe everything you think.
Yeah, what is a belief? A thought you keep thinking over and over again. This is
Yeah,
a belief. So you don't
yeah.
have to believe the thought when it comes one time or so.
You
Yes.
know, and in a way, the way we look at each other, just as an example, you have your own thinking, I have my own thinking, and that's the way how we look at each other, think about each other, feel about each other, you know?
Yes. Through that lens.
It doesn't
Okay,
have to
my
be.
last question is,
Yes.
do you have a special offer or service for the Inspired podcast community?
You know, right now my website is under construction, but if someone is interested in getting to know more about sound healing, getting to know more about thinking into result, I am one of the people who love to guide you to the training to a better, more fulfilled life. So I could leave the website name and they can have a look. Maybe it's
Okay.
for them.
Of course. Yeah, we will put it in the show notes for the podcast. And thank you so much for this interview. I had so much fun being in the present moment with you, getting inspired. Yes, thank
Oh,
you.
Caroline, I could give you a hug. It's so nice to meet you again. You know,
Oh,
we have been 6 o'clock for a very long time, meeting each other, masterminding, not to forget. I
yes.
never forget that because that, for me, was one of the basic platforms to start with the thinking into result. So thank you for that and for
Oh,
inviting me for the podcast.
yeah, thank you for saying yes. We learned so much. It was one whole year, I think 2022. And we spent every day and every
Yes.
fun day on Masterminds. It was amazing. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Mm.
And see you in the next episode.
Thank you.